Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zach, and this is my colleague Ramneek. We are registered migration agents working for Asia Pacific Group. We are a migration specialized company in Australia, and we also have overseas offices. At a later stage, I will show you our office address and contact information. Today, we want to hold this webinar and give you some information about how to get a migration pathway and through trade qualification. And we will go through the one of the most critical components in this pathway called Job Ready program. You will need to go through this program to get a pathway. Yes, permanent residency pathway, if I may add. Before we start, there's a disclaimer. The content for this webinar is for information purpose only, whilst every effort has been made to ensure the accuracy of the materials contained here and incorporated by the reference. This presentation is not intended to constitute legal or immigration advice. We do not advise you to act on the basis of the material contained in this presentation without obtaining advice relevant to your individual circumstance. We highly recommend taking professional advice in matters related to immigration. It means that we are giving you this information just to introduce you to this program and tell you how to do it. But if you want to act on it, we highly recommend you to contact professionals, including us, and we can listen to your case and understand if there are any special or circumstances we need to take note for, and tailor you a migration pathway. We can tell you when to do what and to expect what the result. Moving on, so the objectives for this webinar is, we have three objectives, let's put it this way. First, we want to tell you about something about the trade course, why it's on high demand. And next thing is the Job Ready program, or JRP, the structure and requirements of the JRP program, and what kind of outcome you can expect. So I will start with the first thing, why trade courses. In Australia, trade course is a very important component, both in education and in the job market. Studying in trade courses will have those benefits at least. First is its short duration. It usually takes 2 years, or sometimes under some limited circumstances even less. And it has a high demand in Australia. It's cost effective, meaning that the school fee you usually are paying for a diploma level or vocational school level, and it's much cheaper than a bachelor or master level study. It has very good job opportunities. If you search the job market, they are hiring everywhere, left and right, and it has a very good fee flexibility. So you can negotiate with a school, get fee installments. For example, you can pay every month, every 3 months, or every 6 months, or every semester, which means that you don't have to prepare a big chunk of money in the beginning, and you can finance yourself, and also you can do some work aside from your study and
budgeting, like for students, it's easy to budget.
Exactly. And it's well paid comparing to most part of the world. The trade workers are really well paid in Australia. So you will have a very big return for the study in Australia. And next thing is, these are the trade courses we usually refer to. This is not a comprehensive list, but it does cover most of the trade workers or trade occupations that we usually refer to. First is obviously the commercial cookery branch. So we call it hospitality branch. We have chefs, cooks, and bakers. If you are a kitchen person, you can choose this one. The next one is automotive. If you are a car person, you want to fix cars for life, you can choose this. And then we have most of the construction workers, including carpentry workers. Hang on just 1 second. Yeah, sorry for interrupt, technical issues. So we have all the construction workers, including floor tilers, carpenters, carpentry workers, or bricklayers, painters, and decorators. And we have metal workers, fabricators, welders, and cabinet makers. So these are the most popular ones, but if you have other tastes, maybe talk to us and we see if we can fit you into one of the trade occupations. There are always possibilities. And next thing is our job ready program. I will give you a brief of what job ready program is, and then I will pass the floor to Ramneek, and he will go through the program with you. So job ready program has, at the moment, it has 4 stages technically. You will use this program to prove to the department or to the later stage that you are a qualified worker for your occupation. For example, if you are a chef, you will need to spend at least 12 months and 4 stages of the program to show that you are eligible and qualified as a chef. At the end of the program, they will give you a certificate saying that we believe you are a chef. That's your skill assessment, or also called skill assessment, but that's your job ready program certificate. You will need that piece of certificate for most of the work visas and skilled visas, all the skill visas and most of the work visas in Australia, meaning that most of the pathway will require you to go through and successfully achieve job ready program outcome. And I'll pass the floor to Ramneek, and he will go through the 4 stages with you.
Hello, thanks, Jack. Thank you for that.
No problem.
So now, students, having done with that trade courses, which Mr. Jack just explained, those benefit courses, having done with that, in order to apply a permanent residency, there is this event which is called assessment, and for particularly trade courses, job ready program, a program conducted by TRA, and it concludes 4 stages in it itself. And step by step, when you complete all these 4 stages, you have an outcome which is in the PR list, so that you can go ahead with your permanent visa options. I will explain these steps step by step, but will come and go forward to make it clear using this flow diagram. I will come back to those points as we discuss this in the picture. You can see and visualize this whole program starts from your qualification and ends once the full program is completed, final assessment. So PSA, provisional skill assessment, the first step. We need to prove that you are qualified, like 1 year of carpentry, 1 year of painting, 1.5 years of cookery. These are those qualifications which require to apply step 1, PSA. Once it is submitted, you need to wait for the outcome. You succeed in that, then the next step of registration will begin. So every piece of block comes into the picture once the previous block is done. PSA, qualification is there, applied, done, go to the registration. What registration means? Registration means that you have already done the PSA, means you are qualified and cleared the first step, proved your qualification. You must prove you have an employment in Australia as well. For example, in summary, it's PSA done, job ongoing. You must have a visa, obviously, and you have an opportunity to claim your previous work. I will emphasize here previous work with a note that this previous work is only claimable for 3 months immediately before the registration. I'm applying registration today, I can claim 3 months from today onwards. That's how it works. This is the major point in this job ready program. Most of people don't have job, or they have a job but they are not sure. So this is that stage when student or you guys need to understand the whole job ready program before registration. Once you've done a registration with incomplete information, incomplete documents, the whole program will collapse. So you must have a good job. Good job means reputed Australian business, good salary, duties particularly. For example, a chef must have a chef duties, commis chef duties, painter duties, carpenter duties. It cannot be interchangeable, like a maintenance of a ceiling could not say painter, for example. Now, when registration is done, it may take 6 months now to go ahead with next event, that is skill progress report. TRA or job ready program must see after your registration, how you progressed your skills from the day you registered. So why it takes usually 6 months. And this skill progress must be from each employer. You have a one employer, you get the SRP from one employer. You have a 2-1, you need SPR from both of them to show your progress so far in 6 months. Once the progress report is submitted, 6 months is already passed, having done the PSA registration, 6 months passed, SPR done. Now you can book your test. Field test. TRA will invite you to apply for the test. You cannot apply the test on your own. TRA or job ready program persons needs to check how much hours you have already spent, how much skill you have already progressed, what's the verification of the employer, these all kind of stuff before invite you to apply the test. They are happy with your previous data. They invite you for the test, you book the test. Assessor will come in your field, in a construction field, if you are a carpenter, painter, bricklayer, in your restaurant, if you are a chef, workplace, in your baker, field means that thing. They will ask you technical questions, how you operate things, use equipments, what's your daily routine, these kind of things. You answer in a good manner, and then they will generate a report, successful report. Once the test is passed, TRA will now check the whole 1725 hours is completed or not, whether from one employer, multiple employers, and then they will invite you to apply the final assessment. So it was a summary of from visualizing the whole program. So I will go back now to skim these things. As we discussed, PSA first step, fees $130. It may take 1.5 to 2.5 months to pass this step. Once this is passed, you registered your job. Means you need to prove your job, which is EVR, Employment Verification Form. TRA will verify your job, employment, employer, pay rate, duties, everything to make you registered. You pay $490 at this stage. Pay evidences like payslip, invoices, bank statements, and if you're claiming 3 months, you must submit those documents at the time of registration. So why this has more chunk? Because it's a big step. First step's done, second step submitted. You will wait for 6 months, and then you have an opportunity to update your skill progress. Calendarly, automatically from the portal, it triggers SPR on your portal to submit from your employer, because software knows that on that day you registered and 6 months passed, so you can submit automatically. Not automatically, but nobody will invite you. It will happen after 6 months. SPR done. Test. You can complete the job ready work placement test because you have already spent 6 months, which means full-time 863 hours. And then you pay the test fees, 2,850. They will issue a schedule when the assessor will come, book time frame with your supervisor or employer, and conduct a test. Last, final assessment. So this is the data in 1 or 2 lines, and that was the flow. And in a table, you can see, normally it's a 12-month program, but in total, it may take 13 to 14 months, total duration. Because PSA, once done, 1 to 2 months passed. This done, registration, 6 to 7 months passed. This done, test, 2 to 2.5 months passed. And when you apply the final assessment, it can happen in 1 week or 1 month. So roughly in total, it may go to 13 to 14 months. And this is the total fees at the end you are going to pay to the TRA. Worth it though, right? Okay, so that's the summary which we just completed. We will have some frequently asked questions. Me and Mr. Jack will try to answer you those frequently critical questions raised during Job Ready program. So I will ask Mr. Jack to start with the first question.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so the most frequent asked question is how many employers can be changed. We are referring to the stage 2 of the program. When you nominate an employer, they are not saying you must belong to that employer, but sometimes you change your job. You can always nominate new employers. But we're often being asked how many employers can there be changed?
situation changes on the workplace.
Exactly.
Some don't happy with the workplace. Some would get a good opportunity somewhere else.
Yes.
So why this question
Yes.
comes up every
Yes.
time? Yeah. So what's your answer, Mr.
Oh, yes. If I may, based on their policy, you can nominate up to 5 employers during the process, and at least one of the employers must be lasting more than 6 months. If you can't meet these requirements, the whole program will fall apart. So 5 employers maximum, and at least one employers will have to last for more than 6 months. Is the answer.
However, I think we encourage to stick with one because it will create the complex.
Yes, and your case might slow down.
Yeah, and that 14 months may go to the 20 months because
Yes.
every time TRA needs to verify a new employer, it will create a delay and it will create a complexity in nature.
They may have to shuffle this between case officers.
Right.
And also in reality, if a case officer sees a file thicker than others, it may less likely to be picked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And second question, can simultaneously 2 or more employers qualify? Yes, you can nominate more than one employers in the program. Just make sure that you upload the payslips.
Yeah.
And if the employers are qualified, they will be assessed and the hours will be accumulated.
Yeah, so if you are working 20 hours in one place and 20 hours in another place, you can claim 38 hours, which is the maximum limit as a full time, from both of the employers at the same time. The condition is both employer must be verified, genuine, and registered. That can be done. Yep.
Yeah. Next, what is the minimum pay rate? So based on job aid program, they don't have any pay rate requirements. So as long as it meets the minimum salary requirement in Australia, it's fine.
It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
However, we encourage to speak with the accountant or employment law because it's out of the immigration provisions.
Yes.
We can only advise you as per the employment award you follow.
Yeah.
You follow that from your accountant. Chef, different award. Painter, different award. So we need to check from your accountant or your employer how much you must earn for that duties.
Exactly. How old business should be. Also, there is no requirement for the business operation of the business, but obviously the business must be operating legally in Australia and have a tax register for tax. As long as the business is operating and meets the other requirements, it should be fine. For example, if it's a newly opened restaurant, it has to be serving customers, operating as a business. So I'm just saying the declaration stage does not count. You have to be work as a chef in an ordinary restaurant to claim these hours.
Yeah, sometimes the people buy operating restaurants instantly.
Yes.
And they retain those employees itself.
Yeah.
Which means the business is the new business who bought that restaurant operate from the same day when they are claiming their employment, and it works well.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Legally, the ownership is taken as a legal manner, so everything is fine. There is no such requirement.
Focus on the operating of the business. If the business is operating, you should be fine.
You should be fine.
Yeah. Why my hours are not updated in my? You should take that one.
Yeah. Normally, this question appears because once you registered it says 1725 hours, 863 hours, and students are keen to view how many hours are there. They work 20 hours on that particular week, 30 hours on that particular day. So in their mind, they just calculate it. Okay. So, but how portal works, portal will trigger after 6 months from the date of registration. They are not calculating your hours on daily basis from every piece of payslip or invoices. A person or human or assessor will sit one day, check your whole file after 6 months, and then put the hours there. If it reaches 863, it will reflect because you are on the next step. If it is not, they will wait further for 1 month or so, or how frequent you are working, to update your hours once it is 863. So if somebody is working full time, it normally updates after 6 months. If somebody is working part time, then it may take 10 to 11 months to update 863 hours.
Yes.
So why portal is not having updated hours every time you update the payslips? It does not work like that way.
Next question. My visa is not that long left. What is alternative? So if you asked this question last year, it would be very difficult. But they have changed the requirement or policy recently, and they no longer require you to have a full-time visa. So any visa with work permission will be accepted by TRA, and you can use those visas to continue your job ready program. What it means is that if your visa is not that long, you should figure out a way to extend your visa, including any visa with work permissions. I'm saying particularly student visa, even though student visa has a part-time or work limitation, you can still use that, work for 48 hours per fortnight, and eventually reach the target of 1,725 hours. So yeah, it's becoming a much easier these days.
Using a bridging visa can also help.
Yes.
Because sometimes they worry about.
Yes, using a bridging visa A and B, yeah, using a bridging visa usually can also accumulate hours. Next question. Payslips do not have my role written on it. It's also fine. That's why you need to carefully fill out your employment verification report. They also refer to that report and determine your duties and role. So I have had a few cases where they don't have the role written on the pay slips. Eventually the case officer are pretty fine with it.
Can I use this one?
Yeah. Hello, welcome. We are towards the end and we're doing the FAQ. So we are on question number 8. Can I use my registered company as JRP participant? So the JRP participant must be an individual. It cannot be a company or organization. So you can work as an individual to participate. To participate in the job ready program, but not a company. You can work for the company or for your own company, but as a participant, you must be the one.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Normally, this question comes up for the construction persons.
Exactly. Yeah.
They have the ABNs under their name as well, and they register their company as well, because that makes sense financially for them, right?
Yeah.
And while doing the job ready, they must use their own registered ABN as a participant, not a company, because participant is a person. The company is not participating for the program. It's a person that is participating.
You are, yes.
Yeah, and we encourage to do the job ready with some other companies, right? You could not use your own company as your employer. You are doing a program under somebody. It's not you doing the program under you.
No.
So for this question, as Mr. Jack say, person must be a participant doing employment with another company. Simple.
Yeah. And we do encourage you to find the direct employment. It makes things much easier.
Much easier.
Yes.
Yeah. The more complex the situation would be, the more complex your file.
Yeah. Is working in regional area benefits in future PR pathway? Yes, the answer is always yes.
Yeah.
Most of the states will introduce some beneficial policies if you have been working in the regional area. Usually, it will result in an easier invitation or quicker invitation.
Yeah.
But this is not. This is again, we have to discuss which state you are in, when you are doing.
Depends.
Yes, also which occupation you are doing. So yeah, we encourage you to have an individual one-on-one with us, and so we can advise you. So I just want to address one more thing before we end this session. So as you can see, the job ready program itself, it's pretty complicated. I'm sure. Yeah,
it is.
Yes.
Yeah. It looks like simple. It looks like normal.
Yeah.
But in itself, it has many things ongoing as a machinery.
Yes, it's like a machinery. You have to do the right thing at the right time, fill the right form, submit to the right place, and sometimes the system does not respond to you. So oftentimes you will wonder, have I done the right thing? Did I miss something?
As you can see, on the second step, it takes 6 to 7 minutes to trigger the another one, right?
Yes.
And the months passed by.
Yes.
So if participant has not done the right thing at the registration,
you will waste
or-
6
yeah,
to
6
7
to 7
months,
months.
and
Yeah.
it can be catastrophic. So this is why we want to encourage you to come to us and ask us questions. All the questions will be answered without any charge. We are happy to help you. We want you to have a very smooth experience with us, and later on we can help you with the permanent residency program. So come to us and we will help you with the job ready program. We can sign an agreement with you and look after your job ready program itself. Or if you start yourself, we may be able to either take over or answer your questions.
Yeah,
there are many ways we can help you. And also just on the side note, we are offering free consultations for any student visa or any other visas compliance issues. For example, if you are not sure if you are doing the right thing on your visa, or if the department contact you saying we are thinking about canceling your visa, we will help you and we'll have a free consultation, tell you what to do first, and we'll help you and ensure you to have a smooth experience. This is always important and in our target. I think we have answered all the questions, and this is our contact details. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 4 offices in Australia and also overseas offices. And you can see our email address and phone number. By all means, contact us, give us a call or email or pay us a visit. Our address is on Google. Just pay us a visit so we can help you further and help you with a permanent residency eventually.
Yeah. Thank you. And we can see there is one Glenn. Glenn, if you could hear us, do you have any questions?
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hey, Glenn, do you have any questions you want to ask us?
Unfortunately, sir, I'm late on the meeting.
No problem.
I get into 2:40.
This on our Facebook, I think.
Yes.
You could hear it from our Facebook
Yes.
link.
It's also broadcast on other social medias. So if you have questions, just do ask us. Otherwise, just write down the contact information. You are always free to ask us questions, and we're more than happy to help you.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I'm just going to email or text you on my concerns.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening, Glenn.